Hello! Welcome, folks. I know it seems last minute. I did not get home until late, so we always planned to do this. It's just I did not have time to schedule it until I got back.
That's okay. I think it's been quite a day for me. I certainly know it's been quite a day for Alyssa. So maybe it's been quite a day for those of you who will join us in the comment section at some point.
Did you know that it's possible for you to have too much blood in your body? Because that's why Nopa had a doctor's appointment today, because he had to go get a pint of blood taken out.
Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised by anything that the human body does anymore. But, poor Opa. Poor Opa.
So yeah, that I was like, oh yeah, he's got the doctor's appointment yesterday and he's got one next Tuesday. No, we got 2 more doctor's appointments added in there in this next week.
and then what did you do, Lyssa?
And then I adulted. I ran errands.
And while you were running errands,
I had my trunk do a dumb, and I turned and whacked my nose on it, hence the Band-Aid.
as I said, is an adorable Band-Aid.
It's just we're going for the full e-girl aesthetic tonight. That's what it is, right?
Yes.
I've got the cat ears, I've got the Band-Aid. I just need eyeliner.
It's just the super thick all the way around the eyeliner.
Yes.
As we used to
with like one little like white dot at the corner of your eyes.
Yes. That so that I was going into one of the bars the other night, and there was a party of people, and there were like 2 girls out of the 3 guys, and this is why this reminded me of this. I don't know how hardcore you would have had like 90s girls, because I am a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
I was there for like the heyday of the 90s mistakes with makeup, which included the crazy hair, like you'll still see
the continuation of the crazy 80s hair.
It's right, the emo hair, so it's super high in the back, whether it was
scene hair.
Yeah, scene hair.
Scene hair. Yeah, I was around for that because that was still a thing when I was in high school.
Okay, so the chunk highlights, the
raccoon. They were raccoon highlights is what they were. Or no, you're talking about the other ones. You're talking about like the bob style.
So it depending on the look you were going for. If you were doing full emo, there would be super stripes, or if you were going for like crazy tan, white pink lipstick, white blue eyeshadow.
Jersey girl.
Yeah, that one. Jersey girl versus scene kid
is what you are referring to right now.
We went a little nuts with the eyeliner.
Oh yeah. No, I still go a little nuts with the eyeliner, but that's just because I've got tiny little beady eyes, but my eye color is pretty. So if I do my eyeliner nice and big, it makes my eyes look really dramatic and awesome.
Yes. Again, when it's right, it's right. And that's why everyone wants to do it, because everyone wants to get what looks great on somebody else. But I thought, but I was not so socially awkward that I put my foot in my mouth. But I thought that the girls in this party were dressing like that, ironically. Like maybe there was a 90s theme to their outing. There wasn't. There wasn't.
It just was what they wanted to wear. I mean, the 90s are coming back.
Yes.
And this makes me feel somewhat old. I'm not that old.
You've been around
of the Axanar folks, I am the baby of the group.
Right.
But the baby of the group is turning 30 this year. That says something.
Yes, that all of that. It's So yeah, you're officially old enough to have stuff come back around.
Oh yeah, no, I'm officially old enough that like had I done what some of my friends did and had a kid right out of high school, they'd be in middle school now.
Yes. I have, friends that I graduated with are grandparents now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And that, these are very specific friends, but these are friends that already had 2-year-olds when we graduated high school.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit different though.
So not that much. That's only like 2-3 years off of what you were saying. Yeah.
Hi, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew. Yeah, like we said, it's a little last minute tonight, but that's okay. We're happy for everyone who could join us live and everyone who watches us after it's been recorded. Say, hey, Claude.
Well, and see, that's what the VOD's for.
Yeah.
And if we go a little over tonight, it's not a big deal because my rupture group, we canceled tonight because one of our members might have caught COVID.
Oh, no.
Like we're playing digitally, like we're very much socially distanced. None of us are even in the same state. Like we couldn't play together in person if we wanted to.
Right.
But Shade had family members test positive and he hasn't been feeling the greatest the past couple of days. So we just told him to rest. We're like, no.
Listen, it is a huge surge right now.
Well, the worst part is because of he basically goes into anaphylaxis if he gets certain vaccines. So his doctors told him, unless we can specifically monitor you for this, you're not getting this shot. Right.
And that there are going to be, as we talk about, people who can't get it, and it's just not the best idea for them to get it, and the doctors have to make the decision based on their history with vaccines, and that's why everyone else is supposed to get it.
Yeah, everyone. Do the thing. Get the vaccine, wear your fucking mask, be the socially responsible person. At this point, it's endemic. It's not going to go away. It's going to be like the flu. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, we can make it so that it's so much less worse on people.
Less of a strain on all of our, on the entire system.
Yep.
It is the point in every possible way. And that's the point. But literally having somebody say to me, this logic right here, they're not going to get the COVID vaccine. And it's they were saying, I literally think what came out of their mouth was, well, I got vaccines when I was a kid. I got measles, I got mumps, I got this. And that's because we don't have measles and mumps anymore. So I got vaccinated for that. And I was like,
why do you think we don't have measles and mumps? And they do still exist. In fact, mumps is one of those ones that it's also known as German measles, if I remember correctly. And that's actually one my mom, for some reason, she's been vaccinated multiple times, mind you. She just cannot, for the life of her, hold the immunity to it.
That's another. There's a name for that. All of these things, and all of these are the possibilities. There's somebody else who mentioned that there's a name for that, and I can't.
Yeah.
Right now, but there is for that phenomenon that happens. And again, this is why everyone else who can get a vaccine should get the vaccine. This is the whole point. It's kind of it's well, measles really isn't a thing anymore. We don't get measles, so I got the thing, and I'm like, so their line of thinking was, the difference is, I can get COVID and that's going to make me immune. And I'm like, so I don't need the vaccine. Yeah. They were determined not to get the vaccine. So it didn't matter how illogical that was, but this is what I keep hearing.
What kind of cognitive dissonance do they have to have? And again, it's endemic. It's not going away. It's going to be something that we're going to have to deal with for years and years to come.
Yeah.
It's going to be, it's the new flu on top of the flu. And it's been combining with the flu too, by the way, guys.
They're related. So it's another strain.
Well,
they're
COVID is very similar to the common cold, because the common cold is a type of SARS virus, that coronavirus style.
Yes.
But, you know, our humans have been exposed to it for so long, it only gives us mild symptoms now. But COVID is so new that our immune systems have not figured out a way to fight it yet. Now, we will see later on, because like if you actually look at the human genome and look at our DNA, we do have RNA from viruses that our bodies, through evolution, have absorbed. So we are no longer affected by that. So evolution is amazing, guys. But that also applies to viruses.
Part of evolution is scientific research and discovery, and that includes medical things. So that's why we believe in medicine and science. So
yeah,
there you go.
And the people who, so the people who are like adamantly like religious and use that as like, oh, that's why I don't get vaccines. Didn't your God give people the ability?
Oh, did you freeze
to
up?
have
or
the?
did I freeze up? Oh, you're good.
You froze up. I think, at least on my end, I'm moving. But like, it's divinely inspired, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. But there's people who are determined to what.
You good, Crysstal?
Find a reason to not do something or to do something. You are breaking in and out. I can't tell if you can see me, but you are breaking in and out. I'm getting like every third word.
I'm getting every third word from you. All right, whose connection is it, guys? Sound off in the chat.
Who can you see? Whose fault is this right now?
Who's moving sporadically, and who's coming through weird?
Who's coming in clear for you guys? I do think they want to know what happened. So I don't think any of them were here when you explained what happened to your nose. Is it me? Okay, hold on. Alec, what are you doing?
Todd said we're both coming in 5x5.
He says we're both coming in. All good now.
Okay.
Okay. It's good. Okay, we're good. I don't think they were all here for what happened to you. I think our viewers would like to know.
I did a dumb, guys. The cold weather makes it so that sometimes the hydraulics on my trunk don't open it all the way and I have to add more pressure to it. And I opened the trunk to my SUV and thought it was opened all the way, turned to get things out of the cart, and then I whacked my nose on the corner of my trunk. So I have a nice pretty bandage on.
Yes, she does.
So on my end, Crysstal is spazzing and Lyssa is clear. Okay.
How do I look now? Because it looks clear to me now.
You're good right now.
Okay.
So, Todd, ouch. That is exactly my response. And it's like right where my glasses are too. And you don't realize exactly how much you move your nose muscles until you do something like that. Because I am very expressive with my face.
Looking good. It's cute. I think she looks cute with the Band-Aid on. It's adorable. You
can't see anyone in chat. Matt, which channel are you on? Because we've got the Aries Studios and the Two Geek Girls YouTube channels on.
Yep.
And for some reason, StreamYards will not allow me to know which one in particular on like Facebook or YouTube. It just shows me that they are on Facebook and YouTube. And if you are multi-streaming to multiple YouTube accounts, this does not tell me anything.
I'm Slytherin, if you haven't figured that out. Thank you, Dom.
Oh! Hi, Weasley.
With COVID, with the latest surge, there's more news out today that Wakanda Forever has been delayed again. This production just cannot catch a break. So again, with the surge, there's a halt. Marvel Disney has decided to halt production on that.
I'm not even surprised.
Yep. It's just it's ongoing and yeah. What we got?
It's the one of the Game of Thrones whiskeys.
Yeah.
I had the Song of Fire. Now I have a Song of Ice.
Because of course they had to split it up. Now are they going to do a song of Ice and Fire version of it? That's
cool. A good question. But I love the art on these. Like it's Johnny Walker whiskey. It's not maybe the best in the world. It's also not the worst.
I wants everyone to know that he just made me this.
What is it?
It's coffee and cheesecake.
Oh,
keto cheesecake.
Keto cheesecake. Doesn't that sound delicious?
We got a cruise.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll now. So yes, so everyone knows, and there will be another announcement, I'm sure, from Alex end soon. We are going on the Star Trek cruise.
Ooh.
Part of the other reason we're keeping on top of our vaccinations and testing, we still have to get tested even though we're vaccinated. Everyone has to get tested before they can get on a cruise. It's a smaller cruise than would normally be because it's a Star Trek cruise.
Yeah.
Still, yes. Not that it's small. It's still a Royal Caribbean cruise line.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Alec and I are going on that. So we're being very good about what we're eating because you don't wear a lot of clothes in the Caribbean. So
yeah,
there you go. So there's that. Thank you. This is delicious. Everyone thinks you're the best boyfriend ever. So there you go. I know I've coffee, but he put the spoon in there. That's just fine. That's fine. So yay. Have coffee.
Okay. So yeah, Matt, most people are on the Aries Studios YouTube channel. Yeah. That's probably why you don't see people chatting.
Yeah, they're chat. Yeah, if you come over to that looks like that's where I usually see everybody coming over is the Aries Studios cast.
Yes,
that's there. So okay, so yeah, Wakanda Forever once again delayed, but we do have some more photos from the set of She-Hulk. We have some more photos that dropped from Secret Invasion, which is another one I'm excited for.
Oh, look, the bots have made it to YouTube. The bots made it to YouTube.
Oh, that's so weird.
Block user. I'm used to this on Twitch, not on YouTube. What the?
They followed you. The Tribbles followed you.
Well, no. The ones on Twitch specifically are asking if you want to buy followers and other things.
Right.
That one was something else.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Yes, season 2 premiere of Picard. You are correct. I think that'll be around the same time we're on the cruise, and John Delancey, of course, has several events that he hosts while he's there.
Ooh,
so that'll be fun. I've done cruises. I've never done a Star Trek cruise. Alec has never done a cruise, so
I've never been on a cruise, and I have never actually been to like something that's specifically a Star Trek event outside of Axanar stuff.
Okay, that's right. You like not a Star Trek convention or anything like that. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, that is why I have mods on Twitch.
Yes.
I'm usually just faster at catching them, my mods.
Yeah. No, you're really good at it. So, but that is the first time I've seen them on YouTube.
And there were 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, hello.
Oh, that is actually a pretty smooth whiskey.
Okay. You like that more than the fire one?
They're about the same.
Little bit of nerd trivia here for you. As we're gearing up for Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy.
Okay.
I'd like to see if anybody has any thoughts on that. I remember a couple of years ago, Star Trek mentioned Futurama. So and I can't remember what show it was, but a Star Trek show had characters mention Futurama, which then makes Futurama canon in Star Trek.
Yep.
Now on Prodigy, they have apparently mentioned Homer Simpson. So the Simpsons are also canon in Star Trek. And it's just, I find that hilarious. And I am also doubly curious. Okay, are the Simpsons in reruns, or are the Simpsons still on the air?
Are they still syndication?
Are they still on the air several hundred years from now? Because
you know what? The world may never know.
Eventually the world will know. We will not know. But someday the world will know if the Simpsons just, yeah. Oh no, they were happy to and they can mention shows like, again, generally speaking, you can mention actors, movies, TV shows in context, even if they're owned by another property, unless specifically one property or the other has said not to.
Yeah.
Generally, that's fair use. If you're just mentioning, but every once in a while there's an embargo, but it's usually very specific, and that has more to do with a policy as opposed to a law.
Yeah.
The company will have. But yes, they're shipped. But I find it very fascinating. Futurama made sense. Like, it's Futurama, so that makes sense.
Now, is Prodigy? I know it was going to be on Nickelodeon. Is it just on Paramount Plus now?
That's a good question, because I've only been watching like teasers and trailers and stuff like that. So that's not the one I've been anticipating the most. But I'm sure there's somebody who has. Just like we have some really big Lower Decks fans here, rightfully so. Just got my Lower Decks costume. I'm excited. Okay. What do you think is going to be the craziest cameo that could happen, or like what would be the craziest cameo that you would see in the Multiverse of Madness? Now that right. So we officially have the Fantastic Four movie.
I think with Multiverse of Madness, because they haven't officially put a plan into motion for introducing the X-Men in yet, I think one of the X-Men, like, crap, why am I? My brain is on Star Trek. Shit, what's his name?
Patrick Stewart?
Yes, Patrick Stewart. Xavier.
Yeah, Professor Xavier.
I'm sorry, I was just thinking fucking Jean-Luc Picard as an X-Men for a second.
I mean, let's just get into the Multiverse of Madness heroes. So maybe it's uniform. I don't know.
But yeah, Xavier or Wolverine, like one of the big ones that people know, like right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, So I mean, Ghost Rider. That again, we were talking about the perfect Ghost Rider would be.
Fox is now owned by Disney, though, so they're in for the media portion of it.
Right.
So,
and what I meant about the Simpsons was, would Simpsons still be on the air several hundred years from now, as we were in the Star Trek universe of space exploration? Is what I meant. No, I know the Simpsons still on the air. I've got an episode memorized. It's insane. We're getting close to 1,000 episodes now, so yay. I'm excited.
It's all good, Slytherin. Yeah, they got bought up by Disney.
Yeah, of course they did. It's the House of Mouse. Come on, it's all there. So yeah, I mean, I'm Fantastic Four, of course, is the one I'm the most nervous about now that it's really moving forward.
Yeah.
It's a possibility for a couple of years now, but it's really moving forward now. So that's one I'm really curious to see. But
yes.
Part of it, too, is just looking at the clues of what they're going to do with the Avengers, whether it's Young Avengers or New Avengers or whatever they're planning to do. They'll take place in the next 4 or 5 years. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll depend on the what really happens in the Multiverse of Madness. And we have another season of Loki coming out too. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna.
So there's more that's gonna be given to us here soon.
Yep. Yep. And on that vein, I am thoroughly enjoying Andrew Garfield getting roasted by everybody for being the lying liar that he lying so much. but all the interviews he's allowed to do now.
He could not legally tell them. I'm sure he probably had to sign an NDA.
I love that he had to lie to Emma Stone too, and she just called him a jerk. Like, you jerk. As soon as she got out of the movie, she's like, liar. Yes, no, I know, which is, again, but still, he's a good liar. Tobey Maguire was a lot quieter than not getting roasted nearly as much, but it was fun. It was fun. So I think we're all ready for another Andrew Garfield appearance.
I think he's already signed on for another movie, hasn't he?
Spider-Man, yeah. That is my understanding. That's absolutely my understanding, which is cool.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like, since we now officially have the multiverse happening, they can do this, and it'd be totally fine. It's not contradicting anything. It's like, no, this is a totally different timeline. It's doing its thing.
Well, there's a lot about him as Spider-Man that I really like, and that is very different from Tom Holland. And it's really hard, especially looking back, it's really hard to say we like different Spider-Men for different reasons. Mm-hmm. They each brought something different to it. And Andrew Garfield is just the most quippy Spider-Man.
So the way I see it, like, Tobey Maguire was better at being Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Not the greatest at being Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield was not the best at being Peter Parker, but was great at being Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And Tom Holland straddles the line and does well with both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched Tom Holland's audition tapes.
Mm-mm.
Dude. So his audition tapes were with Chris Evans and I think Robert Downey Jr. because he's going to be introduced in Civil War. So the scenes that they had him audition were in the bedroom with Tony Stark, and then or it was with Tony Stark and Aunt May. But it's one of those scenes, one of the introduction scenes where he has to meet Tony Stark for the first time, and then it's taking the shield from Chris Evans. Mm-hmm. And so he has the script and he like flips onto set and Chris Evans is like, what just happened? Because it's a spin test. And he's like, what is this kid doing? And holy crap, look at him. He's just flipping like it's nothing. Yeah, they were blown away. He was born to do that role. It was amazing from the beginning.
I mean, with his dance experience, like
acrobatics, martial arts, all of it, gymnastics. Yeah. Like, and he just has one of those bodies too. All the hard work he's put, it's also something that he took to really naturally. So it was great.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Danny Trejo. So Book of Boba Fett, I am one episode behind. I think the new one just dropped yesterday, but I've watched the first 3. And yes, Danny Trejo as the Monster Raiser. So it was directed by Robert Rodriguez, so that's not a surprise at all that Danny Trejo was in it.
No, I'm not excited. When you say Robert Rodriguez,
Trejo just comes in the package. That's just the way that it works.
Yeah, it's kind of like how God damn it, what's his name? Fucking Tim Burton. Tim Burton comes in a package with Johnny Depp and often Helena Bonham Carter.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Tim Burton comes with them. Rodriguez comes with Danny Trejo.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, the director of Spy Kids trilogy. And Trejo also appeared in those.
Well, you said tetralogy because before that it was directed by Antonio Banderas. I think Antonio Banderas directed the first Spy Kids. I think he directed the first one. I think.
Good question.
Yeah, I'm remembering right. Something there. No, I like him, and I'm excited. Yes, he's in Boba Fett. He was in this the 3rd episode. Very fitting role. Probably the best part of that episode. So, and with Boba Fett, I'm like, just unless you're really, really against the show, some episodes are already better than others, and that's totally fine. They're experimenting a little bit.
Nope. All three of the original with the kids, the original kids, were Robert Rodriguez. Every single one.
There you go.
It wasn't until the fourth one that I think they changed the director.
That makes sense too. Spy Kids was a big deal when I was a kid. That was a big movie.
Nope. Spy Kids 4 director, Robert Rodriguez. Okay.
All him. All him.
It's all just Robert Rodriguez.
Yep. But yeah, Danny Trejo's part in Boba Fett appears to be a reoccurring one, which is great. And they're, they're adding some good layers to life on Tatooine and things that we've seen before.
Yeah.
I like that show does not bother me the way it bothers other people. Yeah. So. So, Joss Whedon.
Oh, yeah. I have not actually watched the interview. However, I have heard.
I read it. I don't think it's a video. I don't think it's a video one. I think it's a.
Okay.
Reference. I think it's a very long article from Vulture or Variety. I remember. One of those. Yeah, and I just wasn't the least bit surprised.
Yep.
Anything that I read.
And the worst part about it is, he made these worlds that had these really badass feminist characters, and then behind the scenes was doing these things that were very anti-feminism, very patriarchal, and very counterintuitive to what we believed from the worlds he was presenting to us. Because Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dollhouse, Firefly, all of these things had badass women at the forefront of their series.
They had strong women put in borderline inappropriate positions with men consistently. That were the type of women he wanted to dominate consistently in his life.
Yep.
And that's something else that he talks about in the it's weird. You read the article and you get kind of what you expect. There's this little bit of truth in there where he talks about clearly stuff that he's had to come to terms with, and then you have the other part of him that's still trying to say it's not all his fault.
Yeah, him doubling down
and all that. So, yeah.
It wouldn't be as much. A lot of people would be willing to forgive him if he had not fucking done that. If he had not doubled down.
On a lot of things. And it's yeah. Yeah, I mean, people are starting to forgive Kevin Spacey. I'm not saying I'm not for or against it. I'm simply stating that as a fact. He is working again. He does appear to be building a better reputation. Again, neither for nor against, has nothing to do. I'm not stating at this point anything having to do with my opinion on it, or I'm simply stating he's working again. That's all I'm stating. Because he took a completely different approach. But again, I'm not surprised. Not surprised, but he's easily lost 40, 50 pounds. Looked like a shadow of the man he used to be, if even that.
Yeah.
All of that. So.
Well, and some of the worst part was Joss Whedon was very clearly kind of going through this comeback.
Yes. There are several things that that they mentioned in the article. So the person who did the art is basically trying to just be a journalist reporting on the interview that he's doing and the things that he's seen without interjecting his own opinions or emotions, which is totally fine. So he's bringing up how young Joss Whedon was when he became, you know, a showrunner for 3 shows.
Yeah.
He is bringing up things that he did that added to the narrative of him being, you know, the great down to earth guy, which is true. I personally saw him. So I was there when they were doing the 10-year anniversary interview for Fly at San Diego Comic-Con. And somebody came to Joss Whedon's door at like fucking 4:30 in the morning and said, "Do you know people are lined up around the building right now? Like have been there all night?" And Joss shook his head and said, "What? Okay, get me a coffee." And he threw on his clothes and they gave him a coffee and he walked down the line and shook like everybody's hand and thanked them for being there. Simply stating the fact he did this, and you could tell he wanted to do this and it meant a lot to him. So when you have someone like Alan Tudyk talking about his experience with Joss Whedon, I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's covering up for anything.
Oh yeah.
He just saw that side of him.
Well,
I don't think Carpenter is lying. I don't think Buffy. I don't think Sarah Michelle Gellar's lying. I don't think anyone from Buffy is lying. I think that you are dealing with somebody who rose in the ranks so easily and had the reputation that he did as like down to earth and genius and creative and hardworking and all these things because he was. And then you had this, which was also true.
Exactly. And so, and here's another thing, like humans do this thing called code switching. It's not just in regards to our accents. It's about how we present ourselves to others. So when you code switch, like if you are with a specific group of people, you're going to present yourself in a different way than you do with a different group of people. So like if you are with a group of peers that are male, you are probably going to act different with them than you are than a group of peers that are female. And it's not necessarily a conscious thing. It's just how it is.
Yes.
And so like Alan Tudyk's, like his experience is probably very much his experience.
Right.
It's just from a sociological communications perspective, this is what happened. Joss Whedon would code switch between actors and groups of people.
Oh, no, I think he definitely he probably 100% treated Ray Fisher different than he treated Robert Downey Jr. Then treated 18, 19-year-old Sarah Michelle Gellar. Then he treated, you know, his coworkers while he was a writer on Roseanne. And that's,
as you age too, like the code switching, you know, it changes as well. Because like different life experiences create these personas that you give off. Like you're going to have a very different approach to your boss than you are your childhood best friend.
Oh, and then there's the way we act around our mommy and her daddy. Like it's different. Like until my dad passed away, like it's still the way I interacted with him and all of that. And that's the kind we expect. Like that's the kind we expect to be somebody different when we're at home with our parents than who we're going to, you know, tits up and act like with our best friends at school. Like that's just, as an example, something that most people would experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, Slytherin, we did know that Anne Rice passed away. We talked about it at length.
Yeah, they just brought her back to New Orleans to bury her next to her husband, and her daughter had been moved to that same plot several years ago from the one she was in San Francisco. So,
okay.
Yep, they're all buried together now.
That's good, at least.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Speaking of problematic, but in a different way, but still
very different problematic.
Very different problematic. But as that's something we're just, as we get older, and a lot of people, I think the other thing, we really take it for granted. We act as if television and movies and blockbusters and best-selling novels and crazy forms of entertainment have been around forever, but they haven't.
Nope. Film has only been around for about 100 years.
Right. So let's say 100 years, and let's say we have all these idols and we have all these people, but we have it ingrained that it's like Charlie Chaplin has always been there. Like certain things have always been there. And it's like they really haven't. It's only been a sliver, but it's been the entire part, like our visual consciousness is kind of one thing. It's what's been in front of us. It's how we've, grown in pop culture.
Yep.
But it really hasn't been that long. So it's kind of why I like people are going to get used to other realizations as it becomes more common.
Yep.
It's like, well, certain things were always funny and then they weren't. I said, no, things were funny, things were okay, things were acceptable because the way that we saw them, the way that they were communicated, the way people talked to each other about them, we haven't.
It's very different.
It's very different. We haven't been doing
and that's
long.
That's fine as long as you make sure that you put that into perspective when you look at something that was written or made 100, 200 years ago. Like, I'm not going to sit and read an H.P. Lovecraft book and be like, yeah, this is totally fine. No, he was racist as shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys do not know what he named the black cat, there's a reason why the cat in more recent translations goes by Mr. Blackman.
Yeah.
It just, use your imagination there. It started with an N.
Yep.
Before.
Yep. Again, this is why I have a problem with comedians coming. Like, comedians don't eat yourself. Comedians coming out and saying, "Oh, I just can't tell a joke anymore." And I said, "Well, first of all, maybe you weren't that funny. Second of all, if you can't adapt to what people find funny, I don't know why you ever became a comedian."
Exactly.
And it's again, maybe your sense of humor was low-hanging fruit, and people just didn't know better.
Exactly.
People didn't know better. And now we know better. And that's okay. But it hasn't been around that long. Like, it's literally this attitude of like, well, everything's been fine for thousands of years. I'm like,
it's like, no, not really. Like, hell, like, if you want to look at slavery to the civil rights movement to now, that has been what?
Hate this comparison.
150 years ish.
Well, we live in the South, and everyone's like, "Just get over it. It was so many years. Like, just get over it."
Okay, they'll get over it when you stop saying the South will rise again.
Well, again, for the passage of time, I think Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire, literally.
Yes, it is.
Harriet Tubman and Ronald Reagan were alive at the same time.
There is less time between Cleopatra and modern times than there is Cleopatra and the dinosaurs, if I remember correctly.
I think you're saying mastodon, but or woolly mammoths or something. But
maybe
dinosaurs were something like that. I mean, just how we think of time consciousness, social consciousness. That we still have with the oceans.
That explains Florida.
Florida. We're going to lose New Orleans. I'm so sad. Someday we're going to lose New Orleans and I'm going to be sad. But people put it where they want to put it without absolutely understanding. We still have a grandson of a president born in the 18th century alive today. Let me explain this. Sorry. A president of the United States, whether it's the 10th president or the 13th president, and Taylor has a grandson still alive today.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler, it's either Tyler or Taylor. He's either 10th or 13th. And he was
that's what it is.
1700 something. Then the time the pyramid, that's it. Pyramids, but not dinosaurs, pyramids.
I don't know.
Also old. Yeah, it's like there's, I don't mean a great grandson. I don't mean a great great grandson. I mean his grandson. Still alive today. So when you tell me like so much times past, people are different, people don't think like that. Literally right there. Literally right there. So like there are just certain things that people aren't, it's not that different. It's what many people who experience things are trying to tell you. It's not.
Oh yeah. No, those mentalities are still very much around.
Correct. So it can feel like, I guess, whiplash or an unsafe place for people, but that really has a lot more to do with the lack of adaptability. And things are always going to change about every decade or so. I mean, we were talking about The Simpsons. If you watch the first several seasons of The Simpsons, one, a lot of people are going to prefer the way the show was outlined then, but you also have things happening in those episodes that would never be written today. It would never happen today. And for good reason.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like there, as you pointed out, there are some things that were just low-hanging fruit and are just not socially acceptable now for a very good reason, because the low-hanging fruit was being racist, being sexist, misogynistic. Like it doesn't matter what homophobic.
Right. Making light of something that really wasn't funny, like Mickey Rooney and Breakfast at Tiffany's, and not cool.
Self-care stuffs, because I can't redeem points over here. I don't think I currently have water. Slytherin.
Supposed to. So I'm enjoying.
I've got whiskey. Does that? Oh wait, I've got some Gatorade.
Yay! So I am enjoying the brilliance of the Marvel Disney campaign for Moon Knight. They are pushing the fact, like they are the ones. Let's be clear, they're the ones pushing the narrative that people don't know what to think about Moon Knight. Like they're not pushing that it's good or bad. They are pushing this narrative that people are like unsure. Like this is all a Disney Marvel campaign. Let's be clear. But it's brilliant. This is brilliant. Why is this brilliant? Okay. Some people are familiar with Moon Knight, but it's
most people aren't.
Huh?
I said most people aren't though.
Exactly.
And that's the thing.
People aren't. And they're pushing it in the way that they were like pushing, like it's going to be up there with like, you know, Loki and WandaVision and all these things that barely needed any publicity at all. We were going to watch them, we were going to cut them out. The actors were established, but here you have, you know, somewhat recognizable lead actors, and you have a somewhat recognizable comic book character. But they're clearly putting a lot of it. It has a lot of money, and it's supposed to be an important part of the story, and they do want people to watch it. So the narrative that they have with the articles coming out is brilliant. It's brilliant about like people don't know what to think of this. People don't know whether to see this or not, and can relate to that. And that's what everyone's seeing. And so now everyone's going to watch it because everyone thinks that everyone is thinking the same thing about it, which they are. Like, this is just brilliant.
Well, and another thing is, this worked well with them, with Guardians of the Galaxy, too. Like,
yeah.
That was another team that, you know, B-list characters for the longest time.
Right.
Like, people didn't know about Guardians of the Galaxy, like, really.
Hyping that up. Like, yes, we are insane for bringing a raccoon to the Marvel. Like, yes, we are insane for doing that. Come check it out. Like,
raccoon.
We have a raccoon. And
likes to steal prosthetics and body parts.
Hilarious. It's hilarious. Yes, Moon, the actor, and I actually have that article tagged right here. So, the actor was actually at a great surge in his career. I think he was only 36, 31.
Oh, 30. Damn.
So in his 30s, he died in a ski accident. He was going to be, from what I understand, a recurring character. And he leaves behind, I think, a wife and a 6-year-old child. But it was a freak accident. He died during a skiing accident. So I don't know if that, I hadn't heard if they had planned to postpone it because of that, but I do know that the article has come out. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it was very unfortunate, and I will find his name here because I recognize him from another piece of work that he was doing ago. Actor is 37. So Gaspard, and I'm going to say his last name wrong. Yeah, that's it.
There we go. We don't have to say it. It's right there on the screen, guys. We don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. But he was a very well-known French actor. So this is, and again, he leaves behind a child, and his career was really about to take the next level. He was already an award-winning actor.
Yeah.
It harkens back to, I think we had the youngest actor, and he was a black actor playing Jean Valjean in Les Mis.
Oh, yeah.
And he was hanging out with friends, and he fell from a fire escape and broke his neck. And I think he was only 20-something. And you're just like, what? Or Kevin Smith from Hercules, the other Kevin Smith, who played Ares on Hercules and Xena. He was about to co-star, I think, with Bruce Willis in the movie right after Xena went off the air, and about to make his movie career, kind of like Carl Urban did right after that. And he was climbing a water tower on the lot, and he fell off and died before he could begin filming. And you're just like, I hate that. I hate when this happens. I hate when it happens, because you get attached to actors really, really quickly and really, really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we see stuff for Moon Knight, we are going to see condolences for the family. Yep, that's the one. Yep, Stephen Ross remembers. Yep. That's the one.
And I mean, there have been several instances like that. Unfortunately, it happens a little bit more than we would like.
So that, yeah.
Especially when someone's like doing stunts of their own, or like, trying to basically do stunts in real life, but not on set. Like climbing a water tower when you shouldn't.
Think of all the little things we've done in our lives that could have gone.
Oh, yeah. No, I've done so many stupid things that could have and very well should have landed me at least in a hospital, and I walked away fine.
But he was a skier. He was skiing, I think, in the Alps, which is, definitely, some of those are for experts only. So this was definitely a fluke accident. Yeah. Yeah. So very, very sad for his family. He was way too young. Way too young, and all of that. But on the cusp of that, we have the Moon Knight is one of them. I think somebody just mentioned I Am Groot. Yep, I Am Groot.
Which Superman was paralyzed? The original one. What's his name? Christopher Reeve.
Film Superman.
Yeah.
The original. There was a television Superman before George Reeve, and then Christopher Reeve in the movies. George Reeve. That's a whole nother. That's a whole show on its own. I can't. There's a few podcasts on that.
He actually did that on my birthday when I was a couple years old, I think.
The horseback riding accident?
Yep.
Yeah. I was a competitive rider at the time, so we all heard about it there. And he's an expert. He was an expert rider. He's been competing for years. And
horses are several thousand pounds sometimes.
In this, I don't think the horse landed on him, but it was a beginner fence. That was the other irony of it. This was like a normal. It's like one of the, and by beginner fence, I mean it was one of the easier fences. There's a cross country course, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. Cross country courses different from arena, is that they don't move. They're you hit them and you go down, and something happened and he head over tea kettle, and again, fluke accident, because he'd probably fallen off 100 times before then, but
yeah, he just landed just the wrong way that one time.
Yep. That was another one that affected a great many people, and always reminds me of the great stories he still had of Robin Williams being there for him in the early days of the accident, making him laugh, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Robin Williams was just another person taken way before their time.
Well, that's the one where everyone just cannot, like, we didn't want him to go like that. He's the last person in the world that deserved to feel the way that he was feeling.
Well, I understand why he went out that way, though.
Oh, we sympathize
because of the disease. So he didn't actually have Parkinson's. They found out he had something called Lewy body dementia. Mm-hmm. So it has very similar symptoms to Parkinson's. However, it also has a lot worse symptoms than Parkinson's.
Yes. And understanding the disease is a great help, but at the time it did a lot to remove the stigma of depression. And,
oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that that was huge to change the narrative so quickly.
Yes. No, it really was great that they changed the narrative. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't even blame him. I don't even blame him, because
but that's what what you're about to say is what devastates us. That such an amazing person who gave everything to so many people felt that way in the end.
Well,
is what broke everybody's heart. That was, like if he had died of anything else, if he had anything, but that devastated.
Well, see, the way I, like, within the context of the diagnosis and everything he was given, I'm someone who believes in people who have terminal illnesses should be allowed to euthanize themselves if they feel that. And because he did not have access to that, that's the way that he was able to take control.
Oh yeah, no, I don't,
it's a sad state of affairs that's how he felt he had to do it, because he should have been able to have the dignity of being able to pass away peacefully. Yes. And he wasn't given that.
Yes. And also him also, I mean, not understanding what he was going through. He didn't he knew what he was feeling. He knew all of that, but and more people are starting to turn to that way of thinking, and that the longer people live and the more people have to think about that, and the more we talk about that, the more the stigma of I can't do this anymore. There was a great debate that was raised. There was a young woman, I want to put her in her 20s. She didn't have a terminal illness, but she had what she believed was terminal emotional. She was, because of the way her brain was, she was consistently deep depression. And she had tried basically for her entire life to everything to get over it, everything to feel better. And she finally made the decision, like, I can't keep living. But she didn't want to just kill herself. She went through the entire process of legally, and it's so obviously not America, it's a different country. She went through the entire process of like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't live anymore. I don't want to live anymore. And so she said goodbye to her family, and she got the legal petition so that her family could help her do that.
Well, and see, there's something, you get more closure that way too, as a family member.
Yeah, she didn't want to abandon her family. She didn't want to do this. She's just like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, and the way that a lot of people end up having to do that for many different reasons is very aggressive. It's very traumatic for those who are left behind, who have to find it. And in situations where you do have access to being able to get a medical euthanasia, it's a lot more peaceful. It's a lot more.
There's dignity, and they don't.
Exactly. It's about dignity. It's about taking control and being able to say, this is what I'm able to do for me and for my family. Like, we allow animals to die with dignity. Why can't humans do the same?
Dignity. The opportunity to just go to sleep.
Yep.
That huge difference. Let's see, what was I gonna do? So yeah. Or a higher note.
Matthew, talk to your dad.
If you want to talk to your dad, that's probably
if you have the feeling that you should talk to your dad and your relationship with your father is good.
Yeah.
Talk to your dad. And
there, I think I know the Superman documentary you're talking about. It's the one where they talk about the multiple actors and the embodiment of Superman in media. And that it's a really good one. If you guys ever get a chance, I think I know the one he's talking about. It's like Behind the Cape or something. It's some name like that. I can't remember, but it's something like that. Yeah. No,
if you believe it's a sin, here's my thing. You don't have to do it.
Look up in the sky. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. Look up in the sky. I think Elm's putting it in quotation marks for the thing.
Yeah, I know. That's I'm aware how Slytherin is. Slytherin and I get along quite well for a reason.
Yeah, hi. I know. I have to put up my Slytherin banner at some point back here and just own my house because Hufflepuffs are my favorite.
So what you're saying is I'm your
yeah.
What was the term? Your Huffle buddy.
Yeah,
I'm your Huffle buddy.
Great for Slytherins. Hufflepuffs are good for Slytherins. And Slytherins are good for Hufflepuffs. Like it's a good match. It's a good match. Yes.
But
what was it? Oh, the one of the things I got to see as I'm getting ready for the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel to come out, which is amazing. And I can't believe somebody was cosplaying as Alex Borstein's character at DragonCon. It was
nice.
I was like, and she looked exactly like her, but it wasn't her. I double checked. I'm like, is that somebody else? It might be, because that would be like an Alex Borstein thing to do, but it wasn't. Oh my God. It was amazing. The other one, I just watched Being the Ricardos with Harvey Bardem and Nicole Kidman as Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. And it was really funny because what Amazon did was something really sneaky. They actually hid all but like one clip with Nicole Kidman's face with her as Lucy, because the movie is really about what's happening behind the scenes. And while they fudged with the timeline a little bit, they are things that happened. It's just not in that order or not at all that time, but it works. But her presentation of Lucy, like if you watch interviews with Lucille Ball, if you watch her just talking, just being with her friends, as opposed to being, I Love Lucy, she nailed it. She nailed it. And even Harvey, who looks nothing like Desi Arnaz, doesn't matter. He was there, and he does Babalu at one point, and it's incredible to watch. I highly recommend seeing the Ricardos. Also for J.K. Simmons, and the actress who played the actress who played Ethel. Anyway, it's all good. It's damn. J.K. Simmons being Fred was just way too good. He got the pot belly and everything. I loved it.
Nice.
So, as I'm waiting for the next Amazon, I'm waiting for The Boys to come out. I'm waiting for all of this stuff to happen. Yeah. I'm excited to see Jensen Ackles in The Boys.
I I never really got into the boys. Never really got into it, but I am excited for him to be in it.
I'm kind of excited for anything Jensen Ackles is in.
It's Jensen Ackles. Come on.
Jensen Ackles. I'm excited.
I just got splooshed by a freaking Jello shot. Damn it! I opened the top.
There's a little teaser trailer, and of course, it brings forward the debate: would Superman beat Homelander, or would Homelander beat Superman? And here's the two things. Like, if you're dealing with a comic book, what would happen, of course, is that Homelander has no morals, so he would do all of these things that Superman would never do, and it would be a harder fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's always harder when the other person has no line, but you're trying to have a line.
Yeah.
Always harder. However, Homelander's too emotional. I think that the Superman would try to be good, but Homelander would lose his shit. So it's an interesting. That's just the way the fights go in comic book series. So
exactly,
it would be interesting for me. But I always think Superman's gonna win. That's me. Yeah, he doesn't always, but I always think he is.
Yeah. No, some of these matchups, it's just why? Like Goku versus Superman. Goku can literally transcend into godhood. This man has literally come back from the dead multiple times, has beaten the god of death, and saved universes umpteenth times. It's don't put a Saiyan on. No. Superman has his strengths. Goku has his own. Goku wouldn't fight Superman. He'd be like, "Hey, want to be my buddy?"
Yeah, it's hard to imagine why they would fight.
It's no. But they wouldn't fight. You want to see them, unless it was specifically one of the battle royale kind of things for who's the strongest fighter. That's it.
Yes, Superman was a god. Superman did beat the god of death, several of them, and Superman has come back from the dead. So
yeah, Goku as well. But again, it comes down to the fact: would these characters ever actually fight, to the death? No. No, they might fight just for funsies to see who's stronger, but that's about it.
That's like racing Flash and Superman, and then you always get that picture from Flash, I'm the fastest man alive. Hey, you and I are neck and neck. This is what Superman says, and Flash is that was for charity. I can definitely faster than you, which he can. So Flash is faster. Period.
Just some of these setups. It's just why would they even do this? It makes no sense. They'd just be yes, I accept you. Love you, man.
Yes. No, I'd much rather see a drinking contest or something.
Oh, yes. Good God. No, I fully believe that Goku would win that because you remember how much Sage just sit down and eat?
Oh God, yes.
He would win in a drinking contest against Superman, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts.
We'll see. I think Clark has a few extra talents in there. I'm just saying.
He got high on what was it? Pink? No, it wasn't pink kryptonite. Black kryptonite?
Might have
Which
been.
kryptonite was it?
Not pink. Pink is the one.
Pink is the controversial one. It wasn't pink.
Pink is stupid. I don't know what that's.
Is it blue? I think it's blue.
Nothing. Blue does nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I've got to know which kryptonite.
Kryptonians don't get that.
It's Superman high.
It's the same problem that the speedsters have with everything being so fast and the way that their body heals. What we go through when we take alcohol and drugs is this effect that we're having. Whereas the question is how much and how fast would you have to take it to feel anything, unless it was something of alien origin that specifically affected Kryptonians or speedsters. Yeah, green, pink, black, but there's red. Yellow. I mean, basically everyone. And I actually
Silver kryptonite. Silver kryptonite is the one that gives trippy hallucinations.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. See, I mean, any color you could think of, there's been of, but the blue is the one that does nothing to Kryptonians and this, but on the other Earth, where they were the Justice Lords or whatever they were, Ultraman.
Oh, and periwinkle apparently causes him to lose all of his inhibitions. So basically, blue kryptonite. Oh no, that's Stop Bizarro. Excuse me. Silver is the one that gets him high as balls. Periwinkle is the one that makes him drunk.
Not to be confused with blue.
Yes,
so, periwinkle.
Periwinkle. There's a distinct difference here, apparently.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to say is the science behind like being a speedster or being Superman. It'd have to be something completely different. Aliens made for them to make them weird, or it would have to be a large amount. Like, yeah, I had to think about that in the Supergirl series. I had a scene where like these people were being butt heads at a bar, so she challenged them to a drinking contest, and of course won. And things like that. But yeah, no, they've gone a lot of bad places with the kryptonite. And I'm trying to think, and I have a friend who this was years ago. I have no idea if he regrets it today or not. Hopefully not. His entire back was a tattoo of Krypton being blown up. His entire back. So it was like galaxy, Krypton, the ship, Superman's little ship. And then all the different types of kryptonite were on his shoulders in the foreground coming out of Krypton. Like this. That was his whole back. And I was just like, what? What? It was insane. It was insane. I don't remember his way of thinking about it, but yes, at one point. Yeah. Richard Pryor gave him, what color did they use in that one? It was the movie nobody really talks about, but excellent performance from Christopher Reeve. Don't get me wrong. The duality, that Juilliard acting training was definitely out in that movie. And they parodied it in Supergirl.
So every time, like, I know Juilliard is like this prestigious school and everything, but now every time someone says the word Juilliard, all I think about is that clip of Alan Tudyk from Moana going. I went to Juilliard. It's so iconic to me now. That's what, like, Juilliard is an amazing school. If you're able to get in and pay for it, awesome, wonderful. It's a great school.
Okay.
But that's all I think about now.
Juilliard is clear. So I went to the school down the road from down from Juilliard.
Yeah.
And literally, that's a good metaphor for the school that I went to. So Juilliard has roughly a 7% acceptance rate. And now think about everybody who applies there. That's
a lot.
7% acceptance rate. My school had approximately a 30% acceptance rate. And it was considered the next one. Like, it's Juilliard, my school, and then all these other ones that you've heard of are below my school and have closer to a 50-60% acceptance rate. My school was approximately maybe $10,000 less tuition per semester than Juilliard, and no food program, bastards. My school kind of founded around, so Juilliard is older. My school was founded by Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. And it's the study of Stanislavski predominantly. And there are people at both academies who love it and hate it. You'd be surprised at the people who are angry about their time at Juilliard, who are successful today.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Juilliard is still the one that nobody knows my school. That's why I'm not even mentioning it. I could mention it right now. It wouldn't matter. You would not know it unless you were in the industry, unless you did any of this thing. You would not know this school. That's how big Juilliard is. It pushes everything else out. Like people have
What is the school name?
American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
Oh, yeah, I actually did hear about that one.
If you're in the industry, if you're around it at all, you're gonna hear about it. A lot of people.
I think I got literature from them when I was looking at colleges.
Yes, if you're looking at anything, there's everything else that you'll hear about at the time, but it's Juilliard is the one everyone knows, and for good reason. I think it's
a good school. It's not for everyone, but it's a good school. There's a reason why it's so well known.
I'm not saying people are like 50-50 on who have gone there. Obviously, people are very proud of the fact that they've gone there, predominantly. But I was just surprised at people who have spoken openly about not being ecstatic.
Yeah,
that they went there. But yeah, the guy. And did you ever see Men in Black 3? Or
parts of it?
This is the one with Tim Curry, I think. Mm-hmm. And so Griffith, the adorable little squishy alien with the thing in his head, Juilliard actor. That's a Juilliard actor. That's Michael Stuhlbarg. He was also in Doctor Strange. He was the doctor that Stephen Strange had to correct in the beginning of the movie. And then got like a free bag of chips out of it later on. Yeah. Griffith and Michael Stuhlbarg's been in a million things. He was in Call Me by Your Name. He's that actor. But it's funny. Everybody has that I went to Juilliard moment in their life. Alan Tudyk is just the most iconic.
His is just wonderful, just because he's doing a chicken. It's like, yep, nope. I went to Juilliard for this. This right here.
I went to Juilliard. This is my life. I went to Juilliard.
This is what I went to school for. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Huh? If you're getting paid as well as he got paid for that.
Listen, if I could have had Nancy Cartwright's career, I would have figured out how to talk like a 10-year-old boy a long time ago. I would not have joined Scientology, but I absolutely would take that paycheck any day.
Oh, yeah.
Any day. And she clearly has fun. You're Lee Smith. I would do Lisa in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. No, like, I would love to do voice acting, which in a way I kind of do because of the D&D streams I'm on, but it's a very different scale.
Yeah. It's just funny. No. Sorry. You're right. It's the actor who reminds me of Tim Curry. You're right. It wasn't Tim Curry, but it's the actor who reminds me of Tim Curry. Who was in that? It was Boris in that one. Yeah. There you go. Good correction. I always say that just because he reminds me of Tim Curry, but it wasn't him. You are right. What? You're fine. No.
Eddie?
Yes.
I know that sound.
Yes.
All too well.
She's just mad because the bunny won't play with her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sad faces from the Eddie.
Yardley Smith. Thank you. Yardley Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Trying to see. I think we have an official response from Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, do we?
We do. See if I can get the gist of it. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, I mean, she's posting on Instagram and basically talking about the future. That's not Yardley. Which is good, which is correct. I don't think he named her. I think that was the one part about the article that Joss Whedon did. One, obviously, any criticism he has for Ray Fisher, fuck you. I don't want to hear it. And I still think there needs to be an ongoing investigation because I believe Ray Fisher was fired after being basically a whistleblower. Like, screw you, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't think Joss Whedon named because somebody else had mentioned there was an actress he was caught with on set and it was inappropriate. Obviously, it's been confirmed the Michelle Trachtenberg rule that was there, but we'll never know, I guess, the real reason why unless she wants to say, which is totally fine. She never has to. Sarah Michelle Gellar, relatively quiet about people speaking that the relationship between her and Joss Whedon, obviously enforced by him, was inappropriate. So he mentions but I don't know if he's ever mentioned exactly the actress, which is totally fine. There's a lot of comfortable moments that at a certain point felt like he was almost bragging about still.
And that is one of the things, like, he never really came off as, like, truly sorry.
No.
He backtracks. He gives justification.
Right. He comes off feeling sorry for himself at moments and at times like, I need to grow, I need to change, but here's all the reasons why it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
No.
And, like, don't get me wrong, there are times where pointing out, hey, you know, like, I was taught incorrectly, but then afterwards, you apologize. And that never came across.
Yeah.
Never came across.
Two totally different personalities. I mean, again, the difference is if you do something wrong, do you feel bad about it? If you're doing something wrong, do you feel bad about it? And that's just that's where I put my line. Like,
yep.
But do you feel bad about it? Like, it's that, what's that saying? It's like, you're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught.
Exactly. And that's what makes a world of difference.
Yep.
Well, we are, what, like over 15 minutes past when we originally said we were going to end, and we're kind of winding down. Do we have anything else we want to talk about for tonight, Crysstal? Okay.
Yeah, there I am. Yeah. Yep. I think we're there. I think my tribbles have heat up. I think Alec is trying to play his video games, and that's going to mess us up. So.
Okay, well, so that is a good point for us to go ahead and end this stream. After this, I'm gonna wait until about 8:30, and then I'm gonna start playing on my Twitch channel, guys. If you don't already know the thing, I am playing
Share the thing.
Witcher 3. I am copying the link. Here we go. Shapoo. And you can find me there at 8:30 Eastern, so in about 20 minutes, give or take. I will be continuing with Witcher 3 because I am a masochist and went from Horizon Zero Dawn straight into The Witcher. Which has just as much, if not more, content in it as a game.
It's like, yes, 100%.
So,
yep.
I'm having way too much fun with that.
That's good. Don't forget, she's at Geek Girl Lyssa, absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, if you want to find me, and I has the things. We does the Excite. We also, I can has a link tree for all the things I does, not just the Twitch. That also has my codes for Juju Energy and Viking Strength nutrition / supplements now, I guess technically, because they started expanding. So you get 15% off on Viking Strength, you get 10% off on Juju, both really good products, delicious, Highly suggest them. I would not put my name behind them if I didn't actually believe in them as companies. Both of them are somehow, totally by accident, Georgia-based companies.
Nice.
I didn't plan this. It just happened.
Now we got to figure out. So we got the energy drinks, and so unconflicting from that, we have to get somehow word out to Roses, which is the local Roses, either Duluth or Tequila. It's a distillery that does Fire on the Mountain, which is the only cinnamon whiskey anyone will be drinking.
Hey, there we go. Does anyone have a connection to that? Because I will use that as my dihydrate on streams.
That we need to get a sponsorship through Fire on the Mountain next.
I agree.
And Alec agrees. It's the only cinnamon to be drinking. It is amazing.
Which reminds me, I need to set my dihydrate at a higher amount so I am not dying from alcohol poisoning.
No. This is like they'll give you the rest, like finding a nice recipe, and that little cocktail is, you know what, something like that, something very simple.
Oh, I almost just set that to 3 channel points instead of 3,000. Two very different things.
Get away from my cheesecake. Shoot.
My cheesecake, Alec!
It's just waiting for me to stop it.
But anyways, we love you guys. The Tribbles have decided to show up finally again. We will see you next week, probably around the same time, hopefully. All things considered. And we love you. We will see you next time.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a good rest of your night. We will see you next Thursday. Live long and prosper. Bye.
Bye.